Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I have, I think, what's a fun spring summer craft using these beautiful papers from Bo Bunny. These are the Brighton paper collection. I've used these before on my channel, and the paper pad is getting a little thin. I've pulled out what I think is a really pretty collection here, ranging from orange and pink into a really pretty floral, and then the greens and the pinks, and I've got some pretty ribbons to go with it. And we're going to be making a little tiered mini photo album. What do I mean by tiered? The pages are actually tiered one inch apart. I like to make mine out of just the cardboard. It's chipboard actually, but cardboard that's on the back of notepads and like legal pads. I just rip them right off, and then all of our notepads are just wimpy and flippy, and they have nothing holding them up when you lift them up. That's okay. They've gone on to better things. So you're going to need 2 of those pieces. Okay, these are 8.5 by 11. Once again, torn off of something. And I've cut them to, you need one that's 4.5 inches, one that's 4.5 by 5.5 inches, one that's 4.5 by 6.5 inches, you get the idea, and one that's 4.5 by 7.5 inches. Okay, and we're going to be using that, covering it with these papers, and then we're going to, for the binding, we're going to be doing something which is probably the easiest binding I've done, which is just using these little binding rings. Okay, these are so simple to do, decorating with ribbon. On my channel, we have recently done a binding that's like a cloth no-sew binding. I'll link this one down below the video or at the end. So if you're interested in this one, if you're new to my channel, you can check this one out. This one is so fun to make, you guys. It took about 20-30 minutes to make, and yeah, really fun. And then we've got this one, which is just, you know, sewn together with a little bit of ribbon using a pamphlet stitch. So this one I'll also link below. So these are really fun little mini albums, and I think we're going to go in that direction. So with the paper, you guys, you're going to need, let's see, there's 4 pages with the cover, so you need 8 total, plus a few extra just for funsies. You know, we might make some tags and things like that. So we've got everything going here. Let's see, I think I'm just going to pop off, and I'm going to cover my pages using this paper. I just like to cover it with liquid glue. You could use your favorite glue. I like to use this paper glue called Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. It absorbs quickly, it has a lot of tooth, and it doesn't bubble or anything like that. But you could use a tape runner or whatever is your favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and cover some cardboard, and then we'll come right back. All right, pages are covered front and back. All right, now we're going to add another little piece of paper that was left over from this beautiful rose print. I'm just going to add that right here to the edge of the front cover. Just like that. There we go. All right, and then I have some of this beautiful lace I got by the spool here at the Dollar Tree. What a great deal. And we're going to put that right on this outer edge. I'm going to kind of make a wide swath of glue there. Put that down right there to give that a nice little edge. Okay, and I'm just going to let that dry for a moment before I trim off the excess there. And in the meantime, we have some other areas that we can put some lace on. So I have lace that can go here and here, but I also have this little collection of pom-pom trim that I got off of Amazon. I'll put the link down below. And there's this tan, there's kind of a really light aqua, it's almost white. Then there's the true white, then there's the lime and the pink. And I'm going to use this aqua color because it just looks really nice with this green. So I've already cut 2 pieces cut here. And there's sort of a right and wrong side when you're gluing this on. There's this side, and then there's this side which curves a little bit, and I'm going to place that right there, which I think is so cute and so whimsical. And we're going to take the other piece and place it right there. And then these pieces of lace are going to get placed here. So we're going to stagger those. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to trim those pieces, see if we can see what's going on here. And then before I do that, I'm going to make some holes here. Now I think this is dry enough. So I'm going to take, these are fabric scissors, and they're just going to cut through that much better than my paper scissors. So we've got that there. Now we need to make some holes for our little binding. And as I mentioned, we're using these little binding rings, and these are 1 inch wide rings. Now you can make this a larger album. You would just double up on the pages. So this one you would cut 2 of these, and so on, in which case you would need larger rings. But this album is just a little mini album, so we can get by really nicely with these. But this cardboard, this chipboard technically, is pretty thick, and it's too thick for just a handheld punch to get through. So I'm just going to be using this from We Are Memory Keepers. This is the eyelet setter, and I'm going to use the 3/16 inch hole punch right there. And to do that, to line up all of my pages, the first thing I do is set this little gauge right here so that it goes in far enough. There we go. We want to back that up a little bit. And then we want to get that right there on our page. That's too far. I'm going back and forth. There we go. I think that'll do it. There we go, that's just right. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to punch a hole right there. It's about 1 inch from each end. We'll do it. There we go. All right, and then so that these line up with all of the other pages, I like to take a little pen and just mark them just like that. And that way I know where I'm punching on the next ones. All right, so I'm going to do that on all of the pages and get my trim and everything glued on, and then I'll come back and show you how that looks. All right, our trims are in place here, and what I did with that was I went ahead and just took some hot glue and just put a line of glue there and attached that crocheted lace trim, and then while it was on the back side, I trimmed it even with the edges so that it looked nice and neat. I did the same thing with the pom-pom trim. And then I've gone ahead and added those little binding rings here, and then we've started to add the ribbon. So I like to cut the ribbon into 5-inch lengths, and then you can always trim it down later. So it's better to have them a little too long than too short. And you're just doing an overhand knot on each one, just like that. And then, so I've got my pink and my green, and I'm going to add in a little bit of orange and a little bit of this sort of peachy color. And I'm using both gingham, and then I've got crepe ribbon here, and then a little bit of organza ribbon there. So I'll finish that in a moment. So in the meantime, let's talk about what you can put inside of this, and then we're going to finish decorating the front cover because I want to flip it open and not have everything fall off. So we could easily put some photos in here to make our little mini album. That's just a 4-inch square photo. All right, that could go there, that could go there. And then we've got our 4x6 photos that go easily on the last pages, just like that, and like that. But what's also really nice to add is you could just do a little tag. And this tag is just covered with some of the paper scraps, and I brought in a little bit of that green gingham that I thought I might want to use. So that could be really nice, but just remember when you're adding things like this to your book, you want to make sure that you can still see that outside staggered area. So if I'm putting this photo in, I'm going to put that in at the very back. If I'm going to put this photo in here, I'm going to need to trim it a little bit. So don't be surprised if you have to cut some of these down a little bit. That's fine. You just want to keep that aesthetic of being able to see that 1-inch border there. So that is really sweet. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to glue this in. I'm going to include this with the finished album because, you guys, I'm going to give this away. I love giving away my finished projects. And yeah, I want you guys to have some versatility with that. So I'm going to include that tag, and I'm just going to go ahead and knot this one on. I'm going to finish one of these so you guys can see what it's going to look like. And then we've got this one, which is kind of a nice peachy color. And then I've got some really pretty flowers to put on the top as well. All right. So we're going to trim that up, but look at this gorgeous flower. I found this in my stash. I wish I could tell you exactly when and where I bought it, but this is from Petaloo Flowers. I can definitely tell you that. Petaloo does beautiful, beautiful work. So I've got that. These are also from Petaloo, and these are paper. Okay, so we see this coming together, and then I've got a couple of little leaves that also came in the package, so we want to include those. Like that. And then we've got a few little buttons just to make it extra charming. So we're going to go ahead and secure all of this. There we go. And what I like to do with the leaves is I like to do those first. Sometimes you can tuck them in after, but we're really going to glue this large mauve flower down. Go. I love that rhinestone in the center. I'm just going to kind of tuck these paper ones a little bit underneath. Just like that. Got those there, and then we're going to I'm going to anchor these leaves down a little bit more because I think I'm going to go ahead and put one of those buttons right there. Let's see, we'll put another one right here. What's great about these buttons, you can turn them over, and one side is kind of pearlescent and one side's white. So you can sort of switch that up. And I've got one more, and we'll kind of hide that. Not really hide it, but put it right over here. All right. There we go. So I'm gonna finish this up and we'll come right back and we'll do a final flip through. We are all done and ready for our final flip through of our little layered mini photo album. And you can see here that I've cut my ribbons at an angle. This one I did not quite, and then you see it's fraying. So to keep that from happening, clipping those at an angle helps prevent that. Everything is secure. I did add an extra button there. I'm going to get rid of our glue strings. You can always just kind of aim a warm hairdryer at this project and it'll get rid of all those little glue strings if that's something that just really irritates you when you're working. But as you can see, plenty of room for things like little tags. We could also add little pockets in here and put little treats in here like money or gift card to make a great birthday gift, Mother's Day gift, or even a graduation gift. And it's got this little tag that I am going to include for our lucky winner. So you guys, how this works is I love to give my projects away. So if you like, comment, and subscribe, you'll be entered to win the little contest. And then if you watch the following week's video, the following Monday's video, check out who won. It's announced there. Email me and I will contact you and send you some happy mail. So thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. I had so much fun putting this together, and we'll see you next time.